couple days ago, no, actually 3 days ago, no, 4 days ago, there was a young woman uh, from the Riverside Church came to me. It was 3 in the afternoon or 4, I don't know. She came and her face was all in panic and tears. She was very, what should I say, very nervous about something. So I said, what happened? What's going on? And then she said, she's like 25, 26 years old. And she said her brother went to Jeju Island for vacation, and he was driving this rent car, and he got into this very horrible car accident. This big, huge truck just hit him, and she said his brother is in a hospital. She doesn't know what's really going to happen, how bad he is. But the accident was really, really bad. I got the photo from her, and it was like this. And she was just full of worries. She didn't know what to do. She didn't have anybody to share this with. So that's why she ran to me, just asked me to pray for her and pray for her brother. And not just that, she also shared something interesting and something kind of tragic, something kind of scary too. That was, she actually dreamed of this image 2 weeks before the car accident. And she was blaming herself that because she had that dream, her brother got into that car accident. And so I said, I don't think that's the case here. But she also said, like few months back, she dreamed of an image her uncle's her grandfather's brother. What do we call that? Great uncle? Is it the term for that? Great uncle passed away, and she even dreamed of that 2 weeks before the death. And now, just remembering all that, she was blaming herself of that tragic accident. So I said, I'll say that's just all by accident. I don't think you actually intentionally dreamed of somebody just dying like that. So you don't have to worry about that. But she was very scared, and she was very worried. And next day, I prayed for her, and then I prayed with her and prayed for her throughout the night too. And next day, I got a text message saying her brother was miraculously okay. Just few scratches here and there, no bones broken, nothing serious, even from that accident. So I was like, oh, that's great. Thank you for sharing that good news with me. I am very thankful to hear that. But from the story, I learned something. That was this. We all believe that we are in control over our life, at least certain part of it. She was so scared and worried because she thought she was in control over somebody else's life, even her own dream, right? But that was one of the things we easily fall into. I know. There are a lot of things we can do on our own, but if you really think about it, there are a lot of things. Actually, everything in your life you cannot really control. You never chosen your own parents. You never chosen your brother. You never chosen your sister. Those people you cannot really bear with. You never chosen them, right? You think you chose your spouse, but think about it. It's not that you have a list of all those people out there in the world and you got all the information and objectively you looked at them and you picked what you like. Is that something really happened in your life? All those married people here? You wish. No, that didn't really happen. You had the very few people in your list. Those very few people around you who are, what should I say, qualified for your selection. And fortunately enough, graciously enough, there were a few people, even among that few people, who happened to like you. At least at that moment, right? And now this number got into very, very small number. That's like how many people? Like one, right? And you had to make a choice. That looked like a choice, but that wasn't really a choice. You actually were kind of driven into that situation. What I'm trying to say here is this. Realize this. You don't have any control over your life. Let me repeat this because this is very, very important. You don't really have any control over your life. And funny thing is, that will free you from those worries and concerns in your life. Why? Because you don't have any control anyway, right? So you're so freed. Because all our worries come from this misunderstanding that I can do anything about my life. No way. You cannot do anything about your life. But the thing is, there's another thing Jesus is saying is from our text, which is this. Look at those lilies out there. Look at those birds in the air. They're just fine without any worries. How come you are worried, right? But our worry is this. Even after hearing that, our heart is not comforted at all because we don't want to live like those lilies out there. We don't want to live like birds in the air, right? Because lilies and birds, they don't get any, any stable lives, They don't really get any shopping. They don't do any internet shopping. They don't do any other types of shopping, Lilies are just there like this, Birds are just out there in the air, just like this. Our worries come from not because we're worried about our survival. It's more about our satisfaction. We worry because we feel like if I live like this in this certain condition, I don't think I'm going to be satisfied. Our concerns and worries more about satisfaction, right? And funny thing is, satisfaction is all about our priority. What do you value more? What do you value higher? That's what really satisfaction is about. I got a lot of more stuff to tell you, but I like to tell you just one more story. When I was a littler, I almost drowned to death 3 times in my life. And I'm not going to share all of them. I'll just share the very first one. When I was 5th grader, my dad's a pastor, and he has few pastor friends, and we happened to go to a vacation together. It was in Gangneung. No. It was in Gangwon-do. Gangneung is in Gangwon-do. Anyway, we went there, and we went to this deep inside of mountain where this the stream water and all that. It's called the valley water, and Korean people do go there, and they do enjoy water, and that nature is called Gaegok. Anyway, we were there, and I was swimming, and by that time, I happened to find a little interest in a girl, who was my dad's friend's daughter, like about a year or 2 years younger than me. Fine-looking girl, 3rd, 4th grader. I was 5th grader. So I kind of found her kind of attractive. Okay, it's kind of weird for me to share this with you. Anyway, so I kind of liked her. And then what happened was my brother, the guy who used to live with us, my family. I don't really understand why my parents kept him, but he was there too. 1 year younger than me. Anyway, he was like swimming, having fun in the water, and then he happened to go into the deeper part of the water, and he started like drowning, and he was yelling, shouting for help, like help, 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 help. Okay, at that moment, obviously, like I just shared, I didn't like brother a bit at all. Okay, though I came to conclusion that I have to save my brother. Why? Because that girl was watching. And so I was thinking, if I save my brother at this moment, my brother at that moment, that girl will be impressed and amazed by my bravery and by how I don't know how awesome I am. So I ran into that deeper part of water to save my brother, which I regret even till this moment. I'm kidding. We're good. We're good. Anyway, so I tried to save him. But the thing is, the water was too deep. So I was drowning too. And my brother, he was trying to kill me. He just kept pressing me down so that he can breathe outside water, you know. So I guess we just try to kill each other. Anyway, but very fortunately, my mom saw us. And she came in and she saved both of us. And then we got a lot of spanking after that. But it was one thing I learned from that incident was this: never ever find anybody, any girl, any woman out there attractive other than your wife. Obviously, I didn't even know my wife by then, but still, that works. Anyway, and I have that vivid image of it, like my mom coming into the water and just pulling me out. I remember that. It was so clearly carved in my memory because that was very, what should I say, it was a life, death moment for me. But now I'm grown up, looking back at the moment, I just realized that my mom is not that tall at all. I know like some of you here met my mom, but she's like really short and kind of round shaped body too. But now I kind of realize that, just remembering that moment, my mom was still short back then. And when she was coming in to save me into the water, she didn't consider how deep water was at all. She just jumped in to save me and my brother. The reason I'm sharing this with you is this. My mom, me and my brother, was the first thing, highest priority to my mom. She didn't even look at the water. She didn't even consider how deep water is. She just jumped in. When today's passage said, hey, first you seek his kingdom and righteousness, doesn't it sound like too burdensome to you? Isn't it like Jesus is asking too much from you? But he's actually shown that amazing love to us first. He didn't even look at the water. He jumped into that place where we are to save us, to complete that mission. Why? Because we are the highest priority, highest value to him. And obviously, in return, if we realize that amazing grace, if we realize that amazing work that's done on that cross, he saw us the first thing, that we can see him, we can seek his kingdom and righteousness first. And then amazingly enough, only that will free you and me from any types of worries and concerns we can face in our lives. He loves us first. He loves us biggest, most out there. And if we just follow that, I remember the cross. He loved us. He loved me first. I will love him first and foremost among all things I can just pursue out there. Then we'll live this warriorless, concernless life in our lives. Would you stand for a closing prayer?